So I released my new game, Just Click the Button, a little over a month ago, and I wanted to just talk a little bit about how successful the game has been. So before I get started, I just want to point out that I'm not going to give exact numbers. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much money it's made. The only reason for that is because I have a company in Norway now and I just don't want to mess anything up. But I'm going to give you rough numbers so you can get an idea of how successful the game has been. So let's get started with probably the most interesting stuff. How much money has the game actually made? So the game has been out for a little over a month, so actually kind of a month and a half. And in total sales, it is roughly around 15,000 bucks. Now you might hear that and think, wait, 15,000 bucks? That's a lot of money for this game. Yeah, it is. Especially considering the fact that the game only has 28 reviews. So in terms of copies sold, the game has sold around 4,500. So if we just do some quick math there, let's do it. So if we take 4,500 and we divide it by 28. For every 160 people who have bought the game, one person reviewed the game. So that's usually not standard. I think it usually is on average maybe like 50, 60, around that. So that's kind of crazy. So if we go directly on just sales number, the game has actually been pretty successful, especially considering the fact that I haven't done pretty much zero marketing. The only real marketing that I've done is I've sent a lot of emails to YouTubers and asked them to play my game, and that is without a doubt the reason why my game has been so successful. There's been a lot of YouTubers. When I made a video a few weeks ago where I mentioned this game and I mentioned how it actually wasn't very successful, well, that was before a lot of big YouTubers played my game. So yeah, in some way I got lucky, but the YouTubers seem to really enjoy the game, and also the reviews have been pretty positive. So in terms of wishlists, how many wishlists did I have before release? I had a whooping 500, around 500, and that is not a lot at all. You need a lot more wishlists for your game to have some success. But again, that is with zero marketing. The only marketing I did was after the game was done to send a free copy of my game to YouTubers. Now, even if the game only had 500 wishlists, that is still more than any of my other games. So kind of what my kind of philosophy right now is to make a game that is kind of popular, kind of a popular genre with YouTubers, and then I don't really need wishlist. But moving forward, I'm gonna focus a lot more on marketing, which is why I really gotta look at I look at the wishlist count. That's really important. So I also did release a DLC for my game. Let's take a look here. A golden button. Now this is just something really fun. Is you get a golden button and that's it. It costs $1. So in terms of sales for this DLC, it's around $1,000. So that's obviously pretty good for a DLC that I sort of just made for fun. The reason why I made it was because I wanted to just figure out how DLC worked. How do you actually make a DLC, so that in the potential future when I make a real DLC, I know how to do it. So that's pretty much sales and how many copies the game has sold. Let's talk a little bit about refunds. So refunds has actually been pretty bad, sort of. I don't know exactly. I don't know the average refund rate on games are, but all of my games before this game had a lot less refunds. It is around a little over 9% refunds, which is pretty bad, but I cannot complain. And the refunds on the DLC has been like a few percent, so that's not bad at all. Even though the game only has a few reviews, like 28, it's been over a month. The game has been out for over a month, it only had 28 reviews, that's not a lot, but the reviews have been pretty positive in general. It's a few negative, but obviously that's not something to complain about. So then you gotta ask yourself the question, has the game actually been successful? I mean, yeah, it has. My thought process behind this game when I was developing it was that I did not really care. I know that might sound like hope, but in some way I was kind of like, I wasn't really expecting the game to sell that much, because this game was more of a learning session, because there is so much that I've learned with this game, so that when I actually make a game of similar genre, I already know how to do a lot of things. So in that aspect, just releasing the game and making the game was a success. But the game has also sold a lot, and I can definitely make a living out of this now. So that is pretty much it. You can check out the game if you want. Yes, thank you for watching. Bye.